Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton's crash at Hungarian GP. Who said what? Max Verstappen is very pissed at Lewis Hamilton. I mean, ever since the two F1 racers collided at the Hungarian GP and the Dutch driver got sent airborne after contact with Hamilton's Mercedes, tensions have soared between the two. Clearly, Verstappen's plans to overtake Hamilton did not work, and he was left frustrated after the collision, given his accusations against the British driver after the race. Max was not at all happy over team radio about the collision, getting involved in a tense argument with his engineer Giampiero Lambiase, who felt Verstappen had pushed too hard on a new set of tires. He told Verstappen, "That's some gentle introduction," to which Verstappen replied, saying, "You guys gave me this shit strategy, okay? I'm trying to rescue what's left." Verstappen was so angry after the collision that he literally told his critics to off in a raging media session after the race. Well, this is not the first time that Verstappen and Hamilton have made contact during a race, is it? The three-time F1 world champion was chasing down Hamilton for the third place when he tried his hand at a move up inside of turn 1, which did not at all go how Verstappen might have envisioned. Hamilton, on the other hand, went on to accuse Verstappen for hostility and blamed the Red Bull driver's door for causing the collision. He joined race winner Oscar Piastri and McLaren's Lando Norris on the podium after the race. Hamilton was even humble in his words after the race, saying that even though the two other drivers and Verstappen have pace that he will not be able to match in a straight fight, he was optimistic about the future. Hamilton addressed how the year started out with us struggling to finish in the top 10, so for us to be moving forward and be in the mix really felt great. Not only did Verstappen lose his chance at a podium finish, but Charles Leclerc took full advantage of this situation. Verstappen ranted about Hamilton's tactics and said that he kept moving right, and that if Verstappen had not turned while braking straight, he would have made contact with him. Verstappen accused Hamilton of turning to the right too much, which is why he locked up. The stewards had to step in and investigate the collision, with both Hamilton and Verstappen getting called to the FIA offices to give their sides of the story. But you know what? The British racer was as calm as ever. He is obviously not fuming about it as much as Verstappen and addressed the collision as a racing incident. Hamilton was certain that he would not be penalized for the collision and said, "Ultimately, he was much quicker and sent it. I moved a little bit to defend, but I left enough space on the inside, but then he locked up and couldn't turn. So he came at a different trajectory and hit my wheel. If he was under control, he would have gone by." Red Bull has taken note of Verstappen's behavior during the Hungarian GP, with Christian Horner agreeing to talk to the Dutchman behind closed doors. Horner also confirmed that the matter will surely be discussed and put to rest, especially after Verstappen's spat with Lambiase. But what won the hearts of F1 fans and Hamilton fans, of course, was the class act shown by Hamilton after the race when he went up to Verstappen to sort out what had happened during the race. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is gentleman behavior. Do you see the stark difference in behaviors of both the drivers? I mean, not only most F1 fans, but Verstappen's engineer Giampiero Lambiase himself called the Dutchman childish for his responses to the collision. Verstappen even went on to call his team's strategy shit, with his anger and frustration soaring higher and higher. After his fifth-place finish, Verstappen's lead in the F1 World Championship has been reduced to 76 points, with Lando Norris finishing second. As for Hamilton, he sits in fifth position with 125 points after the podium finish at Hungarian GP. Hamilton and Verstappen have had an interesting rivalry in F1 for a while now, even though Hamilton has had a longer career with many titles and records to his name as compared to Verstappen, who is younger and is in his prime at the moment. If we talk about world championships, Hamilton has 7 to his name, while Verstappen has won 3. As of 2024, Hamilton has a total of 104 Grand Prix wins, while Verstappen has 61, which is almost half less than Hamilton. Coming to pole and podium finishes, Hamilton has a record 104 pole positions, which is the most in history, and 200 podium finishes to his name. As for Verstappen, he has 40 pole positions just yet, and is a long way behind Hamilton in that area. Hamilton was the first black world champion, having won his first world championship back in 2008. Verstappen, on the other hand, holds the record for being the first Dutch world champion, and also the record for winning the most number of F1 races in a single season, when he won 19 races in 2023. So while Verstappen has a lot of catching up to do in terms of Hamilton's numbers, we cannot deny that the two are nothing but modern-day greats in the F1 world. But their collision at the Hungarian GP might have raised tensions in their relationship, and this might not just be the last collision we see between the two drivers.